Today, we're not just talking about any milk, we're talking about breast milk. And here's the best bit. It's a sex thing. Join us as we explore the realm of adult breastfeeding. We'll shed light on the raw intimacy, those irresistible sips, and the undeniable allure that keeps some guys hungrily chugging down. So guiding us through this creamy journey is the enchanting Alice Lovegood.
This discussion shows the internet will sexualize anything.
Amazing. But
Yeah.
we really are talking about breast milk.
We are talking about breast milk.
And is this a common thing, would you say?
Right, so it's becoming more popular.
Mm.
And I think it's more common than we realize to be enjoyed, but it's not that much of a common fetish, if that makes sense.
And that alone tells you why this conversation gets messy.
So lots of guys are like, sure, like spray milk on me, why not?
Spray milk, why not?
But like, there's less that are like, oh my god, it's the best thing ever. But it is. There are people that are like that.
That sounds less like a fetish conversation and more like a spectrum of curiosity. Most people are willing to joke about something. Far fewer are actually serious about it.
I think the thing is like, the difficulty with it as a kink or a fetish is women have worked so hard for like breastfeeding rights and for it to be okay to feed in public and not to be sexualized. Yeah.
This is the real tension. When something that people fought hard for to be seen as normal gets pulled back into a different conversation entirely.
I didn't know breastfeeding rights was a thing.
Yeah, so many people get a horrible backlash for feeding their babies in public.
I'm not going to lie, I snigger and then feel embarrassed and then politely look away.
I actually respect the honesty there. Noticing something and choosing not to engage with it is kind of the definition of self-control.
And there was a woman breastfeeding, he must have been 5 years old.
Yeah, but that's actually perfectly natural.
Yeah.
Children's natural age for weaning is actually when you get your molar, when you get your adult teeth at like 5 to 7 years old.
Wait, what? Just why?
And because breasts are so sexualized, people can't separate that. And they're like, oh, it's weird.
Wait, what?
My opinion is the sooner that we learn that things can be sexual and non-sexual and it's not the person who owns the breast's job to decide whether it's sexual or not for you, the better.
This is where I land differently. Even if something is considered normal somewhere, that doesn't mean everyone has to be comfortable with it.
Like hands can be sexual. Feet, there's people strolling around with flip-flops on and there's foot fetishists everywhere. Yeah. Like we are perfectly capable of controlling our sexual response to something and it's that person's responsibility, not the human with the thing that's being sexualized. So when I feed my baby in public, that's not sexual. But if I want you to suck on my boobs with milk in them, that can be a sexual thing because it's context.
I actually agree with the core point. Context matters. But personal responsibility cuts both ways. You can respect something as non-sexual and still acknowledge that not everyone experiences context the same way.
Farts.
I was like, Evie, I need to see this video.
Farts are so funny as well. I did like a fart reel recently. Like, I just thought it was hilarious. And now literally everything suggested on my Instagram is about farts. It's like Instagram was like, she likes farts, let's give her the fart stuff. Yeah, it's actually it's very intense to have a fetish, and I actually like when someone fetishizes me, like sometimes I feel like really overwhelmed by how they speak. It's like you don't feel like you're a part of their arousal because it's that one thing.
That makes sense.
That's an important distinction. Being desired is different from being reduced to an idea. When someone stops seeing the person and only sees what they project onto them, that's where it becomes uncomfortable. Just my 2 cents.
Yeah. Like I've got someone who has like a fetish for trainers with no socks. And if I even mention having trainers on, he just is like, wah!
That would bother me so much. I'd just be thinking, like, how are you going to keep the shoes clean?
Yeah, I know. It's so stinky.
Yeah.
there's so many different elements to it. So there's people who have a thing for breeding, and then usually that then carries on to pregnancy, and then the pregnancy carries on to milk. It's like, and they almost like see women as like a goddess, like a fertility goddess.
And that makes complete logical sense, because
that framing is interesting because once people start talking in archetypes instead of individuals, it can stop feeling human very quickly. Idealizing someone based on a concept rather than who they actually are is where things tend to break down.
And then there's guys that like it because they have like a want to be cared for, like mummy dom. They want to be cradled and held and made feel safe, and what's safer than being,
That explanation shifts it away from desire and more toward emotional comfort.
And then there's people, it can also be a very like dominant thing. So guys like to like breed you, keep you as almost like cattle, milk you.
like cattle.
Yeah, so it's a big, yeah, literally, like there's some really like aggressive things. Like they want to like stock you up and pump your tits. It's quite full on sometimes.
That's where the language becomes a problem. Once people start describing others as resources instead of humans, the conversation stops being about psychology and starts being about dehumanization.
And then there's obviously like from the woman's side, it is actually like a biological thing that you would enjoy. So when I first had my baby, I couldn't orgasm without letting down milk. It was impossible.
Yeah, see, I thought there was loads. And I think the reason I thought that is because I looked up the world record for producing breast milk.
I just like the idea of being like that girl, like, oh, remember that girl that was just fucking nuts, that like sprayed milk all over me? I love that. Like, I love like meeting someone.
So you've like, say, been on a date and had sex with someone and just surprised them with
sprayed milk all over them, yeah.
Wait, what? Just why?
What did they say?
They were like, oh, fuck yeah, this is hot.
And no one's ever reacted badly.
Like, haha, gave you a milk kink. Goodbye.
That crosses a line for me. Surprising someone with something like that assumes consent that wasn't actually given. Even if people react positively afterward, surprise doesn't equal permission.
Yeah, that's really interesting, though, that everybody likes it.
I've never, ever met someone who didn't like it.
That's so interesting. Do most of them taste it too? Or? Wow. Really interesting, though, because I'm just thinking, if I had 100 guys in this room and I gave them a glass of your breast milk, I don't think many of them would try it. But
oh, I bet they would.
I reckon during sex, 100% would.
I think they would anyway.
You think they would?
Yeah, just out of interest. But then maybe just the circles I run with are just weirdos. Yeah. I just run with weirdos.
I don't think most men would drink it under any circumstances, but that's just my 2 cents.
I didn't realize you could buy breast milk online.
Yeah.
For babies.
Yeah.
And it's like frozen or fresh, delivered to your door.
Wait, what?
In terms of the kink, I wondered how many guys are just buying that for themselves.
Yeah, they are. There are lots, because I thought about selling it, but it's really complicated with like, oh, I have to make sure it's frozen and then package it. I was like, oh, I can't be bothered with this.
That's when you realize the internet will turn anything into a marketplace.
Because when we all had COVID, the whole family was drinking breast milk.
That's one of those sentences that makes you pause and realize every family has a very different definition of normal.
Is the adult breastfeeding thing as a role play, is that
so not for me and my
something
partner.
different?
No, some people do it.
Wait, what? Just why?
Like, I think like a lot of men have a real desire, which is, it's a beautiful desire really, to just be cared for and feel safe and loved. And what's more safe than being cradled in like a motherly situation? I think that's really therapeutic.
That explanation makes sense emotionally, but once you start mixing comfort with desire, that's where people stop hearing the same thing.
I'm just realizing how bad my sex education was, that they
It's
didn't
terrible,
even teach
isn't it?
us
Yeah.
about milk.
And this one can like squirt milk like all the way over the ceiling, and this one's like, I'll give you just a dribble. For that thing.
What's a breast pump?
Oh my goodness.
Is this literally like the cattle thing again?
And it
so you're just hooked up to a machine?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Just why?
So I've done content with that, like people like that. I dressed up as a cow, had the pumps on.
But I was thinking,
had a little fiddle at the same time.
Okay, my favorite topic now. So I learned when I was researching this that men can produce breast milk.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Just why?
But so anyone can produce breast milk, but that doesn't mean it's easy to do.
Yeah.
It's incredibly difficult.
That's one of those facts you hear once, acknowledge exists, and then immediately move on from.
I'm happy to drink cow's milk.
Yeah,
right?
You're drinking cow titty milk right now from an animal, but a human milk designed for humans is weird.
Yeah.
Unpick that. Where does that come from?
That's a really good question. Are you saying we should normalize breast milk and set the cows free?
Yeah.
Normalize it, sure. As long as it comes with cookies and a Netflix subscription.
Nah, I like cow milk, but
imagine that human breast milk on the supermarket fridges.
It should be. It's way better for us.
And you could like choose like the picture of the girl that it came from on the packaging. So it's like, yeah, like the hotter she is, the more expensive it is.
I'm the gold top.
Yeah.
That's when know your source goes from a slogan to a social dilemma.
I think that when I said earlier about when I saw like a 4 or 5 year old breastfeeding, I thought, would that be a traumatic memory when you're older? To have memories.
But that's you sexualizing
breastfeeding.
It. That's you sexualizing.
Not as a sexual thing, just like.
No, yeah, but it is. You're sexualizing.
Yeah, you're right. But that could be traumatic, right?
No.
No.
Not if it's not sexualized.
Feeling uncomfortable doesn't mean you're sexualizing anything. It means you're reacting to a boundary you weren't expecting.
And that's my whole thing is like complete destigmatization, and I just wish people could let go of the shame that they carry around sex.
I get the intention, but removing stigma doesn't automatically mean removing boundaries. Not everything uncomfortable is shame, and not every boundary is judgment.
If we had no shame, we'd just walk around naked, right?
Sure. Why can't we walk around naked?
Because of shame. But so,
if there wasn't shame, what would be wrong with walking around naked?
I guess shame has some useful social functions, like to make us behave in some ways that we don't need to police things.
That's where shame gets confused with social agreement. Some rules aren't about fear and shame. They're about living around other people.
Like, for example, someone spoke to me the other day and said, oh, I'm really turned on. My colleague left her shoes on the floor and I smelt them and got all horny.
Wait, what? Just why?
And I'm like, she didn't consent to you to smelling those shoes. Like,
and they're not your shoes.
They're not your shoes.
Yeah.
You can fantasize about smelling the shoes.
You own what's in your head.
Yeah, because that exists only to you. But you can't touch those shoes. They're not yours. and she hasn't consented to that.
Yeah, because that's making her part of the fantasy,
exactly.
isn't it?
To be fair, that is one of the best explanations of consent I have heard in a while. She explained it calmly without it sounding like a lecture.
So can all girls that have breast milk do that?
So mine is kind of weird, actually.
I actually looked up the world record for how far breast milk works, but I couldn't find one.
Wait, what? Just why?
But you should apply and try and have it, yeah.
Because mine is really bizarre. And it like fires out like a water gun, like, whereas most women, it like goes like this.
Oh.
And comes out like several holes.
Because
like
yours
this.
is like
but
targeted.
Mine is, yeah, I could do like, shoot down
like,
some
aim
targets with it.
Yeah.
It's well funny.
Target practice. Yay.
Can vegans have breast milk?
Yeah, it's vegan.
Cool.
Well, it
is
depends
it though?
on how vegan you are. So obviously, breast milk is vegan because you can consent to the milk being eaten.
Of course.
I just know somewhere online, a vegan forum just burst into flames.
Does the breast milk like make the bed go sour?
Wait, what?
My cleaner in my house must think, what the fuck? She knows. There's like anal lube and a random vibrator.
Yeah.
That poor cleaner. The things we have to do to make a living.
And I just think if we've been given this like beautiful thing to connect and play and experience pleasure, and I just think everybody should use that and be human and feel and have fun. And if squirting milk all over someone or receiving milk all over someone is part of that fun, then
it definitely sounds
it.
fun. Just maybe more to watch than to enjoy myself.
I hear the message: connection, comfort, pleasure, freedom. Cool. But not every personal preference needs to be everyone else's public experience. Enjoy what you enjoy. Just don't be shocked when society still has lines, norms, and a few raised eyebrows. Context matters. Boundaries matter. And the internet will absolutely debate anything into the ground. That's just my 2 cents. Like, subscribe, and drop your 2 cents in the comments.